Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about JD Vance becoming too powerful. His meme has made it to the mainstream. You have ordinary people that are just walking around with JD Vance memes, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. And I think that JD Vance may very well be the next president of the United States. So, we're going to get into this story, but first, if you haven't subscribed to me on Kick yet, it's a way to support the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing. We're up to 246 followers on Kick, kick.com/Tactical Templar. And something amazing happened, and I want to talk about it. I'm going to gush about it. Oh, my little boobala, growing up so fast. So I just want to emphasize this because I want to promote Kick over Twitch. On Twitch, I have been on that platform multi-streaming for a long time. And the discoverability is next to zero. Unless you have a massive platform somewhere else, you don't get any views. So on Twitch, I would have like 1 or 2 viewers, maybe, because you would have people from YouTube go over and watch it on Twitch. So the followers on Twitch, the viewers on Twitch was negligible. I think right now I maybe have 7 followers, and I've multi-streamed for a while. On Kick, I have 246 followers. Not only that, but something amazing happened, and I'm going to gush about it. I got my first subscriptions on Kick. Somebody donated 5 subs. And I got to tell you, when I saw that, it was a little bit emotional. And I'll explain why. Is it just because you're in it for the money? No. When you're trying to build something, right, and you see that people are subscribing, that they're following, that you see this growth come of it. And then you see people give of themselves financially, which for me, I'm aware because I grew up in when I was much younger, we were very poor. And then, my grandfather, my father made, a lot more money, had a much better standard of living. But I got to see what poor looks like and what poor feels like to an extent. Not as bad as other people. I'm not comparing that. But I understand the value of $1. And so when somebody watches your content, watches your video, watches your stream, and says, I'm going to give of myself, I'm going to give my money to you, to other content creators, that's nothing. It's like, oh, hey, thanks. For me, it has significance beyond the money because I know exactly what that money is worth. That money is gas that you put in your car. That money is entertainment, buying yourself stuff. That's groceries. I understand what the value of money is, and that's why I always go out of my way to really exemplify how important it is when you give of yourself. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here? Anyway, I'm not gonna do it every video, but I just really wanted to thank this person. The name of the individual is, if I can find it here, is Yanuka1. So again, thank you. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate your giving. And if you want to go support the channel, you don't have to give a dime. Becoming a follower and helping it grow is also important as well. But I just wanted to say thank you and take some time to really, really, really exemplify that is something that means a lot, and I do appreciate it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, back to the reason why we're all here. JD Vance is becoming too powerful, and the memes are hitting the mainstream and the media. Being that they're filled with Karens and low IQ malcontent retards, they don't understand the power of the memes. They think it's a way to make fun of JD Vance, but Like always, they're behind the times.
It's happening in America.
About 2 weeks ago, a Norwegian tourist named Mads Mikkelsen, who is not to be confused with the Danish actor from the James Bond and Marvel movies, landed in Newark Airport. On arrival, he was detained by immigration agents who demanded access to his cell phone and then denied him entry to the U.S. As one Norwegian news outlet, which spoke to him, reports, quote, Mikkelsen says that after being warned he could face a fine or even prison, he gave immigration officers the PIN code to his phone. He was then confronted with its contents, pictures the officers found questionable. In particular, a meme of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, portrayed as bald, and
I think he's going to be the next president, guys. I think there are too many of these memes to stop it from happening at this point. I do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with him. I think that the media doesn't understand the power of... They don't understand the power of memes. They don't understand... They don't understand it. They just don't get it. And many of these people are just looking at it like, oh, they're making fun of him. But they don't realize how powerful they're making him. They're spreading J.D. Vance. Like, understand, this isn't damaging J.D. Vance. The media thinks it is. But the media is one-dimensional, short-sighted. I mean, they have been wrong about nearly every major significant event in the past 10 to 15 years. Every major one, they've been on the wrong side. They've been wrong. Almost like they're not media and they're propagandists. And almost like that propaganda doesn't work anymore to the effect that it did, because there is a contrast to that. And the contrast to that, you're looking right at him. A balding, middle-aged man who played World of Warcraft for most of his life, who lives in a garbage dump, who has a possum as an alarm clock. And the reason I say that is not because I wonder, like, NMPLOL did, why anyone would listen to him, but it's really to just exemplify this guy. All of these things combined, you can say whatever you want about him. He is 1,000,000 times more trustworthy, more honest, and more accurate than the media. It doesn't mean he gets everything right, but he's more accurate, more honest, and more trustworthy than the media. That is the state of things. That is the state of things. Because for Asmongold, on 10 different topics, he may get 3 things wrong and 7 things right. The media gets 9 things wrong and 1 thing half right and 1 thing, sort of like half of it is indifferent and then half of it is correct. Like, their ratio is abysmal. Their track record is just abominable. They are wrong so often that they have eroded credibility, not just on one network, but across their entire industry. Independent content creators now have more trust than these so-called experts, these billion-dollar media companies. And the irony is, the only people that are simping for the media at this point are the people who are against the oligarchy. Where Bernie Sanders goes on Joe Rogan and melts down about how the media is unimpeachable. Oh, well, 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation. 60 Minutes does not have a sterling reputation. Maybe 30 years ago. But right now, the reputation of 60 Minutes is dog shit. Nobody trusts 60 Minutes, especially after what they did with Kamala Harris. Oh, I don't know anything about that, but Donald Trump is an authoritarian. He sued ABC. Like, he sued ABC, CBS, he sued CNN. It's an oligarchy. That Bernie Sanders melting down and repeating the same thing on Joe Rogan is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. And by the way, if you want to know what one of the three things of the 10 that Asmongold got wrong, it was the support for Bernie Sanders. Supporting Bernie Sanders is one of the most confounding things I've ever heard Asmongold say. Bernie Sanders has never, ever, 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 ever been right on a single issue. And you could say, well, but he talks about the working man. No. What you say, like, I'm for this. What you say and what you do and what you vote for and how you vote and how you operate defines who you are. Not your rhetoric. Not your rhetoric. Bernie Sanders has never been right about anything, and everything that he's done has been to the detriment of the United States of America. This guy is a communist, he is a danger, he is a retard, and he is a joke. And I think that anyone who defends this guy, I think that they deserve to be criticized. But I say that because some people may say that I'm glazing Asmongold, and I wouldn't want to get the reputation of a glazer, so I have to throw in a little bit of contrast, just so that you see a little bit of balance, something the media doesn't know anything about. The media either glazes somebody endlessly or calls them Hitler, like with Donald Trump. I like to, throw a little bit of positivity and then contrast that with a little bit of flavor, a little bit of pepper, if you will. But yeah, no, Asmongold is way better than the media, way more trustworthy than the media. Even when he gets things wrong, he gets things wrong better than the media. It's crazy.
I actually think that there have been so many memes. It can't not happen. No, I know this is a fake story. Of course it's a fake story.
A private photo of a pipe. Specifically,
it's MSNBC.
Mickelson says the immigration officials objected to this viral meme of the vice president depicting him as a bald baby. This and hundreds like it are all over the internet, as some of our viewers may have seen. Now, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has responded to these allegations.
Yes.
They say Mickelson was not denied entry to the United States because of this meme you can see on your screen.
Right.
CBP says that it was over, quote, his admitted drug use.
That's correct.
Mickelson says that he told the agency he smoked marijuana exactly twice in his life, once in Germany, once in New Mexico. But not everyone seems to believe that explanation.
So one of the reasons why nobody trusts the media is because they have an anti-American bias. So pretty much anything that has to do with the U.S., they take the side of the gang member, the rapist, the murderer, the terrorist. They take, you've got a 20-year-old pothead kid, an internet shitster, and they'll just take his word over it immediately over the federal government. They'll just immediately believe. Well, some people say, no, she doesn't believe it. Because she's a Trump deranged retard that they trot out there to parrot all of their talking points. And the reason that she doesn't is because she believes it. Which to me is insane. It's insane what the media claims that they believe about the United States and Trump. Trump and J.D. Vance and the people in the Trump administration believe being in the United States is a privilege. That you do not have a right to come here. But the media frames it as, no, you do. And how pathetic and arbitrary is it that you don't allow people who disparage and insult America to come here? People who don't like this country, oh yeah, just let them come in. Yeah, let them immigrate here, let them do anything. Well, I'm sorry, but my approach to this is that people like you need to be exposed, not physically, for the love of God, no. But your ideas need to be exposed, and you need to be humiliated. Because you have an anti-American bias. You believe that America is not special. You believe that anyone should be able to come here for any reason, even if they're a pot-smoking foreigner retard, some dumb kid who has this meme. I guarantee the meme is not the reason why they denied him entry. I can guarantee you that point blank. There was something else inevitably. And I think that it is absolutely ridiculous that we have to sit here and pretend that the reason for this is that the media is just so being so honest and transparent. No, they know what they're doing. And I think that it's obvious at this point.
And if anything, suspected censorship of the Vance meme may have brought even more attention to it, which can happen in cases like this. Yesterday, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon shared the viral meme of Vice President.
Do they know that they're making him more powerful? Do they even understand what they're doing? I don't think that they're realizing it.
J.D. Vance on social media.
They're making,
and in fact,
they're strengthening
that
him.
Meme, the one you're looking at right here, even made its way to the floor of Irish Parliament.
We're watching a major incursion on freedom of expression, unthinkable in a Western democracy. This week, a young Norwegian tourist detained by
So there are two groups of people in society that cause all of our problems. Isn't it crazy how every single time it's the same people?
You see, this is another point of contention that I have with Asmongold. It's a very minor one. He says the two people are Karens and incels. I don't agree with that. I don't think incels are a problem. Well, at least not to the level of Karens. I mean, let's be real here. Incels are not a problem to the level of Karens. I think that you could put gooners in there. Like, gooners are a part of the problem. But if you want to know my opinion on it, I think Karens are a major, major problem. I think they're definitely the top of the pecking order. I think the LGBT community is the other one. And there is another group, but we're not allowed to talk about them at all. Otherwise, we get demonetized. And by the way, some people have said, oh, he's talking about the Jews. No, and it's not the Jews. It's not who we're talking about. Jews living in your neighborhood doesn't lead to you having to put, soda and chips and, toiletry products behind a glass cart where somebody has to go and unlock the cart, or having to redesign your entire store so that when you go in, you have to press a kiosk and order everything and pay for it. And they'll take out your items and put it through like a security bank apparatus to get you your stuff. No, there is another group, but we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to mention that. But I'm sure Asmongold is aware of that. He just, we can't. Shh. But yeah, I think that the two biggest problems are the Karens, absolutely the Karens, the LGBT community, and the silent unnamed partner.
Every single time. How does that happen?
at Newark Airport and sent back to Oslo. Why? He had this meme on his phone.
Oh, no.
Minister, a meme depicting Vice President J.D. Vance as a baby. I mean, extraordinary that a young...
I love how they pan out and there's like 2 people paying attention and 10 people that are even there. Nobody's even here.
With this amusing meme on their phone depicting a public person, that this would be used as an excuse to detain him for 5 hours and then deport him back to Oslo.
That's right.
Again, DHS and CBP deny that's the reason. But, just in case they are not telling us the full story here, please, dear viewers, I hope you take appropriate precautions. I strongly recommend that you do not try to cross the border with this meme on your phone, or this meme, or this meme, or...
They don't even realize what they're doing. I think that's my favorite part about this, is that they think they're making fun of him, but they're actually just making him more and more and more powerful the entire time. He's going to win. I think that this... Because, the thing is that we've had the content president But now it's time for the meme president.
This one.
Oh no.
There is absolutely nothing funny about having any of these on your phone. We are just looking out for your own safety here.
I cannot fucking wait. And yep, there we go. 7.5 more years. It's gonna be 8.5 probably. Wait, look at all the profile pictures.
It would be a real shame if everyone had this terrible photo as their profile picture.
Guys, this is getting dark. We really need to lighten up.
This whole situation got turned upside down.
This is not a laughing matter, and the media has really twisted this story sideways.
This whole situation is so alien to me.
We need to take a very close look at ourselves as a nation.
Guys, we gotta take this seriously. Did you see how red he was last time he thought about this?
Guys, we should take a step back and objectively analyze the situation.
As a Norwegian woman, I would never use that picture on my profile.
Guys, do not post this, I can hear you.
This truly is a low point in our nation's history.
This situation demands our full attention. We should not give our backs to this.
Guys, I think we should stop and look at this from a different angle.
They are making him more powerful than they can possibly imagine.
We should keep an eye out for that kind of behavior.
This isn't something we should push to the side. This is incredibly disrespectful.
Guys, we need to use our brains. Bullying him isn't okay.
We need to get to the bottom of this matter.
Hats off to you guys for calling out such behavior.
Most administrations focus on national security. This administration focuses on national insecurity.
Guys, if we crack the case, we will finally understand this odd situation.
Guys, this is unacceptable. I demand to see the manager. Gentlemen,
he doesn't even. Oh man, he doesn't even finish his sentence. He's like, "Yeah, I'm out." Well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, JD Vance is becoming too powerful. I think that it's hilarious. I think the meme is very funny. And I think JD Vance enjoys it as well. I think he has a good time with it, which probably infuriates the media even more because they want JD Vance to be angered by it. They want to humiliate Donald Trump and JD Vance because these are anti-American activists. These are people in the media that hate this country and what it stands for. They hate the idea that you would think that America is special and that being here is a privilege. They think being here is something that should be open for anyone at any time for any reason, and that if you step foot on American soil, you have access to, the rights in the Constitution. But no, the rights of the Constitution are for people who are citizens and people who are here legally. Legally. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.